everyone. My name is Frank Driscoll, and welcome to Driscoll's Election Dissection, your election analysis for Across the Circus. I hope you are all doing well today, wherever you are. So, we've been offline for the last couple weeks. There hasn't been many contested primary dates as of late, just mostly runoffs from states like Alabama and Arkansas, those that do primary runoffs, however. But the next few weeks we'll start to get on a bigger groove right before the conventions and all that. So, yeah. But today, we only have one state in focus. And we're going to Pennsylvania today. Yes. When I was a kid, I heard that's where they make the biggest pencils in the world. And then I found out that wasn't true. But that's a fun joke to tell your kids. So, Pennsylvania's interesting because the governor is elected in the midterm years, in this case, 2026, and the last election was 2022. But the other statewide offices are elected in 2024, which is rather interesting, a 2-year cycle. I don't know if any other state does that, but, well, they do. But today we're only looking at the elections in the U.S. House of Representatives, and we have not one, not two, but 3 primary elections that you'll want to take a look at if you're an election nut. So let's look at them now. So we'll go numerically. I guess that's a good way to go. We'll start with the 1st Congressional District. Now, the 1st Congressional District is fairly interesting because according to the Partisan Voting Index, it has an even rating. That's right, no party has a distinct advantage. It's literally a coin flip. And back in 2020, according to the internet, Joe Biden won by 5% in that district. Now, the current representative is a gentleman named Brian Fitzpatrick. He has been a representative since 2017 and has been in the 1st District since 2019. And he is known by many as one of the most moderate Republicans in the U.S. House of Representatives. Very bipartisan, part of the Problem Solvers Caucus, a bipartisan group. And because of that, many conservative activists want him out of office. And despite that, he only has one major challenger. And according to politics1.com, that is nonprofit ministry executive Mark Houck. And Brian Fitzpatrick is outnumbering Mark Houck in fundraising by about a 40-1 margin, according to numbers from the FEC. However, primary elections have seen a lot of crazy things. You guys may remember in a current New York representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was out-fundraised by a lot of money by incumbent Joe Crowley, and she ended up beating him. So, anything can happen here. So, whoever wins will face off against a Democratic candidate and presumptive nominee, because, well, she's the only one on the ballot, government affairs consultant and 2022 Democratic nominee for this seat, Ashley Ehas. So that could be a potential rematch for Fitzpatrick and Ehas, and Fitzpatrick may have the edge, being the incumbent congressman, but of course it all depends on who wins the primary election, him or Mark Houck. But keep an eye on that, because it could change the trajectory of Pennsylvania politics or at least 1st Congressional District politics for what we know. It could be going more to the right than it is staying in the middle. All right, now we go to District 10, and we're specifically looking at the Democratic primary for this race. Now, the current representative is Republican Scott Perry. He's been in Congress since 2013 and is the former chair of the House Freedom Caucus and has got a lot of news as he attempted to replace Pennsylvania electors in the attempts to overturn the 2020 election. This is according to an article from the Philadelphia Inquirer. And despite the Republicans having a 5-point advantage, according to the PVI in this district, the Democratic Party is going full guns a-blazing to try to get him out of office. And it's a very crowded Democratic primary. There are 6 candidates on the ballot. And according to politics1.com, they are international business consultant John Broadhurst, Carlisle School Board member Rick Copeland, Harrisburg City Councilwoman and nominee for this district in 2022, Charmaine Daniels, Public Radio Executive Blake Lynch, retired USMC Lieutenant Colonel Mike O'Brien, and former TV news anchor Janelle Steelson. Now, Mike O'Brien seems to have fundraised the most in this race. Despite that, he is running a bit low in the polls. currently, as of the only couple of polls that have been made, Janelle Steelson seems to lead both of them, only two, and the last one was made back in February, a poll from Normington Pets, where she has 36%, but despite 31% of voters still undecided. So with a crowded primary like that, it should make an interesting result. And Scott Perry does have the advantage in November, as the Cook report and Sabato's crystal ball both have it at lean Republican and likely Republican respectively, but those numbers haven't been updated since December and September respectively. So from here until November, a lot can change. And finally, we go to District 12. And again, we're looking at the Democratic primary for this one. And mostly because, well, this district is based in the city of Pittsburgh, along with a couple of neighboring counties. And it has a PVI ranking of 8 points for the Democrats. And Joe Biden won this district back in 2020 by 20%. So the Democratic Party has the advantage. Now, the current representative is a woman named Summer Lee. She was first elected in 2022, won a very close primary. She's also a former member of the Democratic Socialists of America, and has gained a lot of controversy by being one of the many progressive Democrats who voted against a bipartisan non-binding resolution supporting Israel in the wake of the Hamas attacks. So Summer Lee does have one major challenger, and that is Edgewood Borough Councilor Bhavini Patel. Now, Summer Lee does have a lot of major endorsements from major politicians and organizations and labor unions and all that. Bhavini Patel does have a few endorsements from some unions as well. And Summer Lee is out fundraising Bhavini Patel, not as much as the first district race, but still outnumbered. And there hasn't been any polling, so it's hard to tell which way it's going to go. But just like the first district, you might want to keep an eye on it, because an incumbent representative with a small fundraising challenger, you really do never know. And plus, this is a solid Democratic district according to all of the prediction analysis, so whoever wins this primary will for surely win in November. So keep an eye on that. So for those in Pennsylvania, keep an eye on the 1st, 10th, and 12th congressional district primaries, specifically the Republican primary in the 1st district and the Democratic primary in the 10th and 12th districts. And as always, before I go, I just want to say, if you are a registered voter in the state of Pennsylvania, anywhere in the state, I truly do not care who you vote for, but I do care that you vote, so please do. Thank you for listening to Driscoll's Election Dissection. If you'd like to learn more about the show, go online to algidproductions.com/acrossthecircus and be sure to listen to us on any podcasting form you like. Thank you all for listening, and I will see you all very soon.